Hello everyone, myself Ruchi Patel, working as an assistant professor at LJ College of Physiotherapy. Today I am going to take second year topic, that is static stabilization of glenohumeral joint. Many times this question can be asked for the 5 marks in the university exam, as well as along with the dynamic stabilization it can be asked for the 15 marks as a major question. So let's start with the presentation. As we all know, glenohumeral joint is the ball and socket type of joint, and it is a synovial type of joint, and it has a wide range of motion. It has a flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, medial and lateral rotation. However, the mobility that makes the joint unstable. Okay, so we'll see the articulating surfaces. As you all can see here, the concave surface which is produced, or the concave surface, that is the glenoid cavity, and convex surface, it is here the head of the humerus. So the larger head of the humerus will articulate with the smaller articulating surface of the scapula, that is with the glenoid cavity, and which makes this GH joint. As a result of this incongruence of the joint surfaces, we require the other structures to provide the stability, because the head is the larger in the size compared to the joint cavity, glenoid cavity. So it will be quite unstable type of joint. So we require the ligaments, capsules, and other structures to support this joint. We have the ligament, that is the glenohumeral ligament, coracohumeral ligament. Then we have capsules, and as it is a synovial type of joint, we have synovial sheath. Okay, so superior glenohumeral ligament, middle glenohumeral ligament, inferior glenohumeral ligament, then we have coracohumeral ligament, and we have joint superior joint capsule. Okay, so now we'll proceed for the static stabilization of the glenohumeral joint in the dependent arm position, or we can say when the arm is hanging at the side, that time which structures will help to maintain the GH joint position. Given the incongruence of the GH joint articular surfaces, the bony surfaces alone cannot maintain the joint contact in the dependent position. So, as the humeral head rests on the fossa, the gravity acts on the humeral parallel to the shaft, and that will be in the downward direction. So of course we all know the gravity will act, and gravity will try to pull the head of the humerus in the downward direction. So we require the other structures that provides the upward pull, and which helps to maintain the head of the humerus position into the glenoid cavity, and ultimately to support the GH joint in the resting position. So a vertical force could be supplied by the muscles such as the deltoid, supraspinatus, then long head of the biceps brachii and triceps. But the researches are showing that this muscles does not have a active role during the relaxed or unloaded position. So as a result, we require the other structures to support this joint, and we can say this is the passive mechanism for the GH joint to maintain the static position. So here in this diagram you all can see the line of gravity which is acting on the upper extremity, which extends in the vertical or downward direction, and which creates the downward direction force. Okay, so here you all can see this LOG, that is acting on the upper extremity and which creates the downward force on the humerus. Okay. So next we'll see, before going for the further, we should know about the rotator interval capsule. So this rotator interval capsule, which is mainly formed by the superior glenohumeral ligament, coracohumeral ligament, and superior joint capsule. Okay, so superior capsule, coracohumeral ligament, and superior glenohumeral ligament. These three structures together, it is called as a rotator interval capsule. So here in this diagram, you all can see these rotator interval capsules are producing the upward force. Correct? So the LOG is producing downward force. These rotator interval capsules produce the upward force. So what happened? As a result, this resultant force of the LOG and rotator interval capsules compresses the humeral head into the glenoid cavity. Okay, so whenever the resting position, the patient is in the resting position, this rotator interval capsule has a major role to maintain the GH joint position, and which helps to compress the GH joint and maintain the stability. In addition to these rotator interval capsules, we require the other mechanism to maintain this stability. And one of the mechanism is, or one of the structure which helps to maintain this static position, that is GH joint capsules. It has a airtight seal and which produces the negative intra-articular pressure. And this negative intra-articular pressure that creates a relatively a vacuum and that resists the inferior humeral translation. So this joint capsule will act as a vacuum and will provide the tight seal between the head of the humerus and the glenoid cavity. So that means it helps us to avoid the downward or inferior pull of the humeral head. So in the case of, if we lost this intra-articular pressure, which is produced by the any trauma or any tear in the glenoid labrum, which results in the larger amount of, or we can say which results in the large increased in the inferior humeral translation. So that suggests that these structures also will require in a proper intact position, so that this will help to avoid the inferior translation. Then another mechanism, that is the degree of glenoid inclination. So if there is a slight upward tilt of the glenoid fossa, either anatomically in the structures of the scapula or by the scapular upward rotation, which helps to partially bony block against the humeral inferior translation. So if this glenoid cavity, it is in the slightly upward direction, so that helps to uh, provide the sill, or that helps to make this joint in a lock position, and ultimately it avoids the downward pull. Okay, so if these passive forces are inadequate for the static stabilization, as may occur in the heavy loaded person. So here the activity of the supraspinatus and subscapularis muscles will come forward. Okay, so although the supraspinatus may not have an active role for the stabilization, but of course somehow whenever the person is having paralysis or rotator cuff injury, we can find that there will be the more chances for the inferior subluxation of the GH joint. So without the reinforcing passive tension of this intact supraspinatus muscle, there could be the more chances for the inferior translation. And along with this supraspinatus muscle, The subscapularis muscles also helps to provide the stability and to maintain the rotator interval capsules force. And as a result, ultimately, these structures helps to provide the GH joint stability. So summary of the static stabilization. First, rotator interval capsule that includes the three structures, that is the GH glenohumeral ligament, superior glenohumeral ligament, coracohumeral ligament, and superior capsule. These three structures will help. GH joint capsule, which provides the airtight seal, glenoid fossa inclination, that is upper tilt of the scapula, and rotator cuff muscles. So this is all about a brief idea related to the static stabilization of glenohumeral joint. For the further detail, you all can refer the joint structure and function by Cynthia Norkin. Thank you.